Hey everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Welcome to our live video series. I have been waiting for this vehicle for a while, and really so have you. This is the Ioniq 5, Hyundai Ioniq 5. It is in our video bay here at Brantford Kia Studio, and we are gonna go through this vehicle in detail. That's what we do here. We're gonna show you a whole bunch of things that the other videos aren't showing you, and basically we're gonna try to cover that in the first half hour. I can't promise we will. We're gonna probably cap this at around 45 minutes, but here's the thing, do me a favor. If you're interested in this vehicle and you just wanna know more and more and more about it, and you wanna see new videos about it, subscribe to our channel right now, because I will go through this vehicle 20, 50, 100 times on video if I have to go through every single detail. So this is our first introduction of it. We do these live videos just like this every weekday at 2 o'clock Eastern time, and you can join us. And yes, we are live. If you're not watching at 2 o'clock Eastern time, then of course you can just watch it on the replay. But if you want to know how to join us, I'm going to show you how to do that. And these are kind of our long form, in-depth videos where we can kind of take your questions and go through things. And then in the future, we'll do some shorter form stuff, some other long form stuff. Just depends on what we need to make sure that you have this in detail. So if you just want the content of this video and that's what you came for, you can skip ahead to the 3-minute mark. In the meantime, we'll talk about some news and some notes, and we'll also show you how to join us live, and we'll go from there. So here we go. All right, to join us live, you just go to our YouTube page exactly at 2 o'clock Eastern time. It's December 17th today, 2 o'clock Eastern time in the afternoon. And if you refresh the page, so you can see here we have a placeholder video, refresh the page, you will see our live video takes over that home page, and there it is right there. So we're gonna click into that live video. You're gonna have to watch a quick little ad. While you guys watch an ad, I'm gonna encourage you to shop and visit and connect with Owen Sound Hyundai and Brantford Hyundai. Brantford Hyundai is providing me with the car today. Both of those dealers have this car available for test drive. So you can reach out to them. When this video is done, there'll be a link in the description below, and you can reach out to them. They will be able to set you up on a test drive. We'll have a schedule for that kind of stuff. This vehicle is available now for test drives. So there is that. And then, of course, Brantford Kia, if you're looking at a Kia vehicle, you can connect with me about that as well. So those 3 dealers really support this channel. They make this happen, and you got to give these guys credit. The sales team could have had this car today at Brantford Hyundai, but they are allowing me to have it the very first day it arrives before they have it, so that we can make these videos for you guys. So support them, give them some help that way. What else is going on? That's about it. I know if you guys are interested in the Kia EV6, we've been taking some orders there for that at the Kia dealer. But today is all about the Ioniq 5, and I think we'll just leave the Kia news out of this so that those of you who are interested in Hyundai can see it. So we got about 13 seconds. Do me a favor, if you're a regular with us, hit the like button for me today. We'll try to get a bunch of people. Basically, hitting the like button is going to let people know that, hey, we're doing this, and it'll spread it to more people, and that'll help more people like you see this video, and that, of course, will encourage us to make more videos like that. So we're at the 3-minute mark. Let's get rolling. So here we are. Like I said, the Kia sign, because we're in Brantford Kia Studio, and we are talking specifically about the Ioniq 5 today, and there's a lot to show you. So let's go through. Just a real quick refresher. This vehicle was supposed to show up a little bit later than it actually did, so I had to learn a lot last night. I always sort of like to prepare for these kind of things, especially when it's a new vehicle. So there's going to be times in this video where I'm not 100% sure, and it's a challenge to do in an all-new vehicle on a live video, but the point is there's nothing to hide here. We're going to do our best with it, and when we don't know, we'll tell you we don't know, but we will find out, and we will make more videos with it. So this is the preferred long-range package, and that basically puts you right here in the middle there. Preferred long range, you can see there's an essential, there's a preferred, and then there's a preferred long range. So the long range moves it from the 58 kilowatt battery to the 77.4 kilowatt hour battery. It's still a rear wheel drive model here, and 488 kilometers is the rated range, or roughly the rated range. To be honest, I don't remember the exact official rated range if it has one yet, but I can tell you that yesterday when I checked out this car in the afternoon, it was at 522 kilometers of real world range. And it's been driven a little harder since a few of us wanted to see sort of the power behind this vehicle. So I can't promise it's going to read the same, but it was around at 3 degrees Celsius this morning. It was reading 488, I believe, 408, high 480s. So you're still getting that in fairly cool weather, and we'll continue to monitor the real world range of this car. As a rule, Kia and Hyundai in their most recent round of EVs before this tended to be very conservative on their rated range, and 3 seasons of the year we were able to far exceed that range. So we'll see if that holds true for this next generation model. All right, here we go. Here's the key fob right there. very much the same as every other Hyundai key fob, looks kind of the same. So you have one different button here, we'll hold it for the charge port. At the end of this video, we will be plugging in the car so you can see how that works. You do have a remote start button. Of course, that's really just remote climate on this vehicle, remote preparation kind of thing. So you do have that, and of course, you can set this to work inside a garage because it's a full EV. Now, I am not going to touch this key. It's in my pocket. I will not touch the buttons. But a lot of people are wondering about the door handles. They are flush-mounted door handles when the car is locked or in motion. So we're going to show you how that works. So keep in mind, this entire demonstration, the key is in my pocket. We're not going to touch them unless you see me touching. I'll tell you about it. As I approach the vehicle, you'll see right away, it beeps and the door handles approach me. Now, you may ask yourself, what happens in our Canadian winters if there's ice and snow on the car? And I think it's not going to be a problem. You can very much push these in on this side, even if they're not presenting, so you shouldn't have any issue to do that. And of course, to pull it out, you just pull it out and you are in the car. So there's a quick preview. We will jump in 1 second, but we'll come back. If I didn't open the door and I just walked away without touching it, the door handles would eventually go, or would very quickly, within a, not too long, if I left the car, they would pop back in, be flush, and be locked. It does seem to me that these door handles stay out when the vehicle is unlocked. So you'll be able to tell visually if you left the car unlocked, but so will everybody else. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna enable the function on the Blue Link, which is your cell phone app that warns you if you left your vehicle unlocked. And the reason you're gonna do that is because obviously, it looks unlocked. Most cars, when they're unlocked, they don't look unlocked. So you're going to enable that function that gives you the notification on your cell phone to tell you that the vehicle's unlocked, and you can lock it from your cell phone even if you're out of range of the remote, and that'll prevent you from having issues with that. So not a big deal that way. Coming around the front, I just want to give you a really quick overview of the styling. Some of the trim lines here, actually I can show you on Kia or Hyundai Canada's website here. If we just jump over to their website, they do show this vehicle sort of with the silver color trim on the bottom and the different wheels there. This one has 19-inch wheels, and you have a black trim down here. It is a plastic black, and I think it looks pretty sharp. I mean, I've asked, so here's what happens when I get a new vehicle. I ask all kinds of people in the dealership. Believe it or not, there are a number of people at the dealership that are not into vehicles in any way. They work in various departments, and they do a great job for us. But I always ask them, what do you think of the car? So that we can get sort of the auto fans' opinion, and we also get the non-auto fans. And there's some real mixed reviews. Some people love the look. Some people aren't so sure about it. And I think that's what Hyundai was going for. Something different, something that's not going to be liked by everybody, but it is very practical. So the one thing when we talk about the wheels here, the overall size of this car looks like maybe a compact car, looks like maybe a hot hatch kind of thing. These are 19-inch wheels. 19-inch wheels are huge. You can get 20-inch wheels on some of the trim packages, but the wheels and tires are very large because usually when you have 19-inch wheels, they're low profile, but 19-inch wheels and 55% of that tire is still sidewall. So the diameter of this wheel from top to bottom, or diameter, the circumference, diameter, whatever you want to measure, is very, very large. And that kind of skews your view of the size of this car. It is a larger car. Hyundai happens to be calling it a crossover, and that's probably the best comparison. It is not high like a crossover. You probably sit, and I know that I shouldn't compare it to other brands, but you probably sit very similar to a Kia Soul. That has been one of the more in-between kind of height cars. It's not as high as an SUV, and you don't sit as low as a car. So it's kind of nailed that perfect ride height for the seat, but you do have something that is larger in person than it may seem in camera. Coming out front here, we are going to turn the lights on a little bit later, but I want to show you, they're going to go with this pixelated look. You guys have all seen the lights on in other pictures. We'll show you them later. But there is sort of, with the lights off, a sort of a cube type look. So these look like cubes, and then when you zoom in without the lights, there's even smaller cubes, and then there's even smaller, or the same size cubes on the side there, and even on the signal lights down here on the lens, you can see a cubed look to it there. I don't know if you can film it, if I can film it, but you can sort of see that cubed look on the side. It's easier to see in person than on camera. Out front, you have this very flat, again, cubed look in that side, in the inside there. Very hard to show here on camera. But then you have a panel like this. This panel right here with the bug on it, that is a active air vent. So it opens up and closes down based on if it needs air coming through for whatever reason, for cooling or something like that. And then when it closes, it makes it more aerodynamic. Aerodynamic efficiency, 0.288, I believe, which is fairly efficient for a vehicle like this. And yeah, overall styling, you've got that sharp kind of crease line coming through. You've got the pixelated lights even in the mirrors here. So you've got a fully unique, this is not a part shared car. like many other vehicles that, tend to share some pieces and parts, although you will see some sharing in the software. I really like the spoiler along here. So a lot of cars have that spoiler that's just flush from here. This one at slower speeds will allow the air to dump down a little bit, but at higher speeds it'll have that extra spoiler there. That's all going to help with aerodynamic efficiency. And then your charge port doors there. We're going to take a look at that later in this video as well. And then this pixelated look out back. This is what the Ioniq family, or the EV family from Hyundai, is going for with their pixelated look. We'll get the lights on a little bit later. There is a little bit of a difference between the brake lights, which are in the center here, and the daytime running lights, which are on the outside. So we'll turn them on for you later. But again, a squared off look. You can kind of see it through the dirtiness of the car over there. But yeah, just kind of cool details. So to me, the look of this car, it's very interesting to look at initially, but it's more interesting to look at as you get closer and closer. Let's jump in now, and we're going to go through some of the content of this car in as much detail as we can in this video. So first things first, there's an optical illusion here when you're in person, and you probably think I'm crazy looking at it on camera, but a lot of vehicles have sort of a pillar here to grab. This one doesn't appear to have anywhere to grab visually, but this whole door panel is a pull tab to close that door. So you can see that there, that whole section, and it's very minimalist. And of course, it's minimalist, but it's different than that other EV maker that has a minimalist look to things. So inside here, right away as I shut the door, I can already hear that I sound differently to myself in this car than I do in some of the other cars. The sound insulation of this car is excellent. So those of you that don't know me, I've been driving an EV for 2.5 years or so now, and I happen to have a Kia Soul EV. This car is exceptionally quiet compared to my Kia Soul. They've targeted various Tesla models to be quieter than that. My boss, who here at Brantford Kia, who drives a Tesla regularly as a car because we just don't have a lot of Kias right now, but he's regularly driving a Tesla as a used car. We regularly sell used Teslas here. He was really impressed with how quiet this car is. So there's two things that make noise in an electric car, not the motor, because there's no gasoline engine, but you have wind noise and road noise. And this car's road noise is immensely quieter than some of our previous model vehicles. And I think that's a really important thing. So the sound insulation has done a really good job. And then of course the wind insulation, they've done a good job with that as well. All right, so we turn the car on and you've got two screens out here. We've never seen this software in white before. It is a change. It doesn't film great, I can tell you that right now. It looks a little different as I'm filming it. If you want it to be black, it can be black. We can show you that. You can see we got about 93%. We've been driving this car hard, right? People have been driving this car harder today. You can see it's rated for about 485 kilometers of range. We'll just switch the drive modes here and see what we've got. So that's the sport mode goes down to 470. The eco mode goes to 499. So 93%, 499 kilometers of range. And that includes people seeing how quick this car is, us driving it in cooler temperatures today. So you can see that the real world range is legit in this car. You're going to get real world range in this vehicle. Coming over to our dash, you've got sort of the familiar and the unfamiliar. So the one thing that threw me a little bit is my view of the wheel is similar to what you're seeing now. The steering wheel is kind of small, and it concerned me a little bit that I wasn't seeing the corner of the screens up here until I realized there is nothing there. So you have a relatively small wheel. Let me just turn it around here. Relatively small steering wheel, which you can see right there. But you do have this massive 12.3-inch display screen. So if we think of something like a Tesla Model 3, they have a 15-inch display screen. So we got 12.3 plus 12.3. That's over 2 feet of screen space in this car. And the fact that just a tiny bit of it hides behind the steering wheel when I look at it, it's hard to show you exactly what it looks like with real life, doesn't concern me because, again, the very top corners there is nothing there. Now, of course, software updates could bring things in, but I think they've figured out what they need to do. So what you see down here, this is one of the display screens. There's lots here, but this is similar to our gasoline cars where they show, the two lines and various things. What's cool about this is you get a little bit more information than you would normally. You have the, when someone's in your blind spot, you have, let me just show you in the mirrors. Ooh, we're zoomed in a lot, but that'll work. See that little triangle in the top of the mirror there? That will light up red when someone's in your mirrors. You used to have to look at your mirrors to see if that was red. Now, as you're passing people or people are passing you, you'll have that same sort of warning sign, left side or right side of the vehicle, to give you a sense of what's going on, what's behind you. The two displays on the far right and the far left are actually bar graph. So you have a digital speedometer here and then a bar graph speedometer that comes up there. And then you have the same idea with your power usage here. As you're using power, it kind of comes up from that line. And as you're putting power back into the battery, it comes down below that line. So very intuitive to look at a glance. I would say ignore the efficiency that you're seeing here today. Let's just put a few more kilometers of normal driving into this car first before we talk about that. You do have the advantage of these paddle shifter style regenerative braking adaptation or adaptive regenerative braking. So basically there's a number of levels of regenerative braking that you can tap with your left side or right side paddle shifter. Teslas don't have this, so people who drive Teslas go, what do I need that for? Almost everybody who drives our Kia and Hyundai electric vehicles like those paddle shifters and use them regularly, and you can adapt your regenerative braking on the fly, but you can also play with things a little bit here. We used to have an auto mode, which many EV buyers don't always know about. We talk about that when we said it. Now you have, for instance, it's level 3. And if I adjust the paddle shifter here, do I have to be in drive maybe? Let's just find out. Maybe I have to be in drive. All right, we're in drive, so let's just see if I can adjust that. There's level 2. There's level 1. There's just basically when you let off the throttle, you're going to coast like this. So now when I raise it the other way, level 1, level 2, it increases when I let off the throttle. It's going to give me significant amounts of braking. So that's regenerative braking. That means that when you lift off the throttle, the brake lights are going to come on and it's going to feel like it's braking, because it will be braking, but it will all be regenerative braking. So it puts that power back into your battery, and that adjustability is really nice, but they've enhanced it here to a maximum level, which is the I pedal. I pedal is on now. That I pedal, I assume, stands for intelligent pedal, to be very honest. I've figured out what it works and I forget what it's what the I stands for, but I'm sure it's like intelligent pedal. The difference before this is you could essentially one pedal drive up to like, and I'm guessing here, 2-3 kilometers per hour, where you had to touch the brake to just come to a complete stop. Now you can fully one pedal drive. That iPedal system allows you to one pedal drive. So you let off the throttle, it will provide enough braking to slow the car right down to a stop. Now that doesn't mean you can only one pedal drive. If someone comes out in front of you, or you're going too fast and you've released the gas pedal or the throttle pedal too late, you will have to brake. But you do have the ability to essentially one pedal drive a little more properly now than we used to in the past. So we're in drive right now. How do I get there? Well, it looks like a column shifter down here, and I want to take a look at it. It's big, and it looks like a column shifter, and my big fear is somebody's going to come on a test drive and they're going to break it off. It is not a column shifter. You can see it's quite large down here. I don't know how to film this. Let me just see if I can film it a little better for you. Let me flip it around this way. So there is, it's hard to show. The stock there is much smaller for the wipers than it is for this. And the way it works is just like this. You spin it down to neutral, you spin it down to reverse, I think. Where we go? Oh, there we go. So I didn't turn it far enough with the wrong hand there. And then you press the outside. So the park button is on the outside there. You press that in to put it in park. Very, very simple and intuitive to use, but it does look like a column shifter for those of us who grew up when this car was inspired in the 80s and that kind of thing. So it's not something you pull down on. It's just a push button and turn the end. Very simple to use. So what we're going to do now is we're 17 and a half minutes in. I want to show you some software. So do me a favor, guys. If you can hit the like button now, if we all hit it together, we'll have a bunch of people join us. Part of the reason I'm hitting the like button, sure, it helps our channel, but there's a lot of people out there that are interested in this car. And if a lot of you who are also interested in this car like this video, they'll get notified. The more people that watch these, the more incentive we have to make more of them. It just tells us that you guys are interested, and we'll keep making them. So do me a favor, hit the like button. If you want to do it together, we'll do it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll all hit the like button. We'll get a bunch of people to join us on. We'll keep going. So I'm going to show you some software in here, some basic stuff. We'll go take your questions. We'll come back and we'll keep going through it even more. So really quickly, a couple things. There's one thing I'm not crazy about in here, and it's the typical auto reviewer in me, not the owner in me. So when you turn on the climate system here, which I have off right now, normally stays on with the car. It has 3 different levels of auto. We can talk about that on a later date. But the seat heaters are nowhere to be found, and that's by design, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is what it is. So you can hit the warmer button there, and what it does is it pulls them up on the screen. And then, of course, you can turn them on here in various ways. So level 3, level 2, level 1, and off there. and then steering wheel heater as well. It's a different way of going about it. It's not the end of the world. If I tap the warmer button again, it goes back to whatever screen it was on, or I can use the screen to do that in various different ways. So it's just an extra button that I'm not thrilled about having to hit, but it works fine. There's no big deal there. If I go to the climate side of things, you can also see that if you bring in the climate screen, again, you have a bit of a display screen here, so you know what's going on, where the air is going, temperature, driver, and passenger. But you can do a lot of things. You know, all of these settings are standard in a lot of our Kia and Hyundai vehicles. Activate upon washer fluid use. So when you wash your fluid, you can close out the outside air when you do windshield washer fluid. A lot of things here that make some sense, and we'll talk about them in further detail a little bit better later. But you do have the auto system. You can see that, and again, lots of ways to go back to the main screen. We just go back to there. This does have navigation. If I want to bring it up, I can bring it up through a button or through the screen. It has the map. If I just want to bring up the map there, you can go full screen, 3/4 screen. This is all standard stuff in a lot of our regular stuff, but we will go through some EV specific stuff in a second here. What I will show you actually as we jump back in, there is one thing that people are going to ask about. Can this car do over-the-air updates? And the answer is, if I can hit this, I'm looking through the screen and I should be looking not through the screen. I'm looking through the camera and I shouldn't be looking through the camera when I tap these. Does it have over-the-air updates? Yes, it does, but it's not available without BlueLink. Now, BlueLink is free for the first 3 years, unless somebody has an update for me. Last I heard it's free for 3 years still as a 2022 model. It's just not set up on this car yet because that's set up when you have the owner take possession of the car. It is something to keep in mind that you will have to keep BlueLink for over-the-air updates. And the next thing I'm going to find out is, well, what if you don't want to pay for the subscription? Can you still get the car updated at a dealer? I'll try to find that out for you in the future. That's a question I want to know. But you do get over-the-air updates. And one little over-the-air update that I'd like to see on this car, and while we're nitpicking, let's nitpick a little bit more, is when we go to the vehicle, you can customize a whole bunch of things. In the cluster here, everything is white, which is nice. And you can select a theme. And you can select the theme to link through the drive modes. Oh, I might be in the wrong spot here. Or you can do theme A, B, or C, which is all, okay, so I'm going in the wrong spot here. A, B, or C basically changes with the drive modes, which is drive mode here is normal. You can see it change there. Sport, everything goes red. So you can select individual ones of those. Now, what I really wanted to do was find where you can hit the display. So maybe I'm in the wrong spot. Oh, I think I am. So let's go back to the display area. This is probably the wrong one too. Illumination, extend, oh boy. Whoops, what I'm looking for is, oh boy, there is a way to make the screen black and white, and you have to excuse me, I was just there. So it's white right now. You can make it black, or you can set it to change black at a certain time of day, like maybe 8 at night until 5 in the morning. I would like to see that change to when your headlights are on or headlights are off, or to a sunrise and sunset type thing, maybe half an hour before sunrise, half an hour after sunset, those kinds of things. I'll have to find that again here if I can find it. Problem is with doing a live video is you start doing some of this stuff and you don't know what you're doing. So we'll back out. Somebody just asked a great question. We're going to get to your questions right now. In fact, why don't we just go do that right now? We'll turn the car off. Somebody asked, can you have wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay? And right now, no. My understanding is that won't change on these larger screens. That is a wired system right now. We can go into details of why we think later, but the short answer is this car is going to come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but it will be a wired system. So let's take your questions now. Feel free to still hit your likes. We're going to go a little bit longer than normal, longer than a half an hour. Actually, I'll just put it back on me, and we'll try to take some questions now. Where are we headed? I want to show you some more software, but before we do that, we're going to go rear seat and trunk. We're going to take a look at the lighting. We'll jump back into software. We'll come back to some questions. We'll keep going from there. We're going to do a drive video of this. We're going to do other videos of this car. We've got lots to show you, so lots more to come, but we'll do what's best we can here. The seats will be operated by the app. Somebody says the seats will be operated by the app. I'm not sure. Oh, if you like remote start the car or remote climate the thing, yes, you can turn on the heated seats, heated steering wheel from the app. Somebody says, I think you hit the climate button twice to turn on the cooling seat. Yeah, there's a climate and warmer button right there. So I don't have cooled seats in this vehicle. This is a cloth vehicle, so I haven't played with the cooled seats yet. Is it better than a Model Y? I'm going to be very blunt. I really think it is. It depends. The top line Model Y is more of a performance car than this. This is not a sports car. This is a comfortable car. If you look at Hyundai at the auto show in LA that we went to last month and we took videos there for you, they had a new Concept 7 that came out, and it was very much the living room theme in the interior. This car feels very living room-like in the interior. It's very comfortable. It handles well. The weight is down low. but it doesn't feel like a sports car. The Model Y probably feels a little bit more like a sports car at the higher trims, which are far, far more expensive. Rear seats in the Model Y, I don't find them comfortable. And the front seats, I don't find they fit me perfectly. Now, you might be a different size than me. I don't think anybody's gonna get in this car and find it to be uncomfortable. So there is that. Okay, so let's keep going on through. What will the wait time be in ordering? I'll have to get back to you on that. I haven't checked recently. So what else have we got? Can the infotainment system run videos? I don't think so. I don't think it's designed to do that. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay would be the only way to bring some of your cell phone stuff in, and it is not designed to bring some of those distraction type things into that screen. Does it have the sounds of nature? I don't think so. I didn't see that. So you guys are, some inside jokes going on here with the rump roaster. I call heated seats rump roasters here on this channel. So one recurrent topic with EVs is the assembly quality. Like, manufacturers focus more on the tech than the quality of the assembly. What can you say about this one? Any weird noises, gaps, etc.? That actually stood out to me as quality on this car. So keep in mind, I know I wear a Kia badge. We talk about Kia stuff because I work in the Kia store here. My office is based in the Kia store here, and I talk about Hyundai stuff. I'm a big fan of all EVs. I'm a big fan of Teslas. I like them, but they're crap interior. They just have a lot of squeaks and a lot of rattles. When I got in this car, the smoothness to the power compared to our previous generation EVs is excellent. The quietness on the road, the ride overall, the silence, there's no squeaks and rattles. The feel like when they say it's chiseled out of one piece, it really does feel like that on this vehicle. So quality is very good. Panel gaps are fine, consistent. The plastics and everything feel proper. There are some hard plastics in here, and some people don't like those. I don't really care if they're hard plastic if I'm not touching them regularly, like pieces of the dash. But overall, it's very, very good with this car. So somebody said the rims look like flowers. Yeah, they kind of do. Yeah. So there we go. So, okay, so we've gone to a few questions. Got 102 people on. Feel free to keep hitting that like button, guys. What I'm going to do now is go rear seat, trunk, and lights. We're going to go back to the technology, and we'll keep going. Open the hatch. The one thing I think they did a mistake on this car, this is just my guess. I think there's an error on this particular model. They have a front trunk. It's not very big. It's not something I'm going to advertise, but there's a panel in there that seems to me like it's only should be on the all-wheel drive model, because the rear-wheel drive has more space underneath, and this panel's wrong. So we can show you that a little bit later. But yeah, I do think they have the wrong underhood frunk space in there. To be fair, it's not super impressive. If you're buying it for the trunk space, and I'm going to be really blunt, a lot of EVs, you don't use the frunk as much. It's a dirtier end of the car. It's awkward to get the hood up a little bit sometimes. Something like Rivian does that very well, but most of the cars you're not using the front trunk as much. It's not perfect in this car, so we'll look at that in a second. But what is very, very good is something that you do use a lot. And again, we'll pull this open there. This is the rear seat here. When we talk about excellent rear seats, this is what you have here. So let me just show you getting in. Again, this is where it shows that this is larger than a typical crossover or a typical small car. Oh, this one's way back reclined, which is what I was going to show you. So as you can see, I can recline it. When I have it the way I need it, just immense space here. Tall. I stuck one of our larger employees in the back of this thing behind me. He fit no problem. So headroom is fine. Big door openings, that's good. There is a cup holder there. One of the things with EVs is that with the raised floor, your leg doesn't sit flush on the seat very well, but I can do that in this car. I can't do that in any Tesla. Model Y, Model S, doesn't matter what it is. I haven't tried a Cybertruck, neither has anybody else. But yeah, you do have far, far better rear seats here. So if you're taking adults, this is going to be a car they're going to be comfortable in. And I think that matters. Now, a couple other cool little details back here. Again, this sort of big wide open handle there, just kind of looks unique. You can see the vents are actually in the side pillar there, which I really kind of like. I think it places them a little bit closer to your passengers, maybe not the center passenger, but it also puts them up higher, so I kind of like that. You do have these plastic back seats. I'm a fan of that because if you have kids back here, you just wipe these clean and you're good. The big stretchy pockets, which is what I like to see as well. They're nice and stretchy. They can fit larger things. 2 USB ports, a little storage spot down there. Again, the pocket over here, and we'll get a little closer view of that vent on this side here. So again, you can aim it, you can turn it on or off, and the feeling overall of quality, like nothing feels plasticky and cheapy in here. And again, I think Tesla's trying to be a premium brand. It's very hard to argue that this Hyundai economical car brand is not above the Tesla. When you touch like material qualities in here, everything just feels solid. The plastic feels good. So just fantastic job. But in addition to that seat reclining, like we showed you, you also have the ability to bring it forward. Now that's not quite locked in place, but you can see that's how far you could bring it. We'll just bring it back a tiny, tiny bit. There's that there, and again, it can recline quite a bit and it can fold flat. So right now, we're gonna leave this one there, we're gonna leave the other one back at the full spot, and we'll look at the trunk space. Trunk is not a powered trunk on this particular model. You do pop it up, and you have good trunk space here. So let's just get rid of these mats for just 1 second here. So there is going to be a compromise for some people here. There's no panel, like when you have this seat where it is and you fold it flat, it's nice and flat floor or continuous floor. You do have a bit of a gap there. It's not a big deal, but if you lose stuff down there, you can get it from the rear seat, but there is no panel gap that closes that when the seats move forward. I don't know if that's a deal breaker for anybody. It doesn't really matter to me, but it is something to keep in mind. If you have your oranges loose here and they start rolling when you hit the brake, they will be behind there unless those seats are fully back. Underneath the floor, you do have a little bit of storage. That's where your tire mobility kit, I think your charger's in here as well. So it looks like there's a cargo mat in there. So good carpeted floor space here. And let's do our teddy bear test. So teddy bear, those of you who don't know, teddy bear is our trunk measurement tool. We take him, we put him up against the rear seat. Now, of course, I've got an extended rear seat. So when he's in there, lots of space this way, lots of height that way. And again, if I move that seat forward, he's another 6'8" inches forward again. I could tilt that back seat probably a little further to create more space. The long story short is this is crossover-like. This is not small car-like. Very good space, much bigger than the Kona, like a lot bigger. So teddy bear in a Kona is basically, his arm to his arm is basically the Kona trunk. So you've got just significantly more space. The camera makes it look smaller to me. You've got a lot of space coming down there still. So just good size in the trunk space. And I can't, actually, you know what? Why don't we just quickly fold down the seats and take a peek there. So again, here's those door handles again. Now that it's pushed in, if I want to get the door handle to present, I just press it in and pull it. It's really not a big deal to do. And you can see that it's pulled out there. So let's just fold the seats down here, slam there, and that'll fold even when it's fully forward with those seats there. It does lock kind of in place in the down position. We'll do this one here too. Teddy is the real MVP, someone just said. Yes, he is. Oh, so this one I do have to move back just a bit because of the way I was sitting. So that headrest did hit the seat where I was sitting. I could then move it forward, but just coming through here, it grazed that. So there is that. Not quite level, but pretty close. Somebody's gonna say, can you sleep back there? I don't know, guys. Teddy's a tall Teddy. I bet you could easily sleep back here even with a friend if you wanted to, because that's what people always ask me. So do the handles go back in? Yeah, they have, no. So when the car's unlocked, it's usually out, but they did seem to be in on some of the things, so we'll have to figure out a better video of when the handles go in and out. Obviously, when the car is locked, they go in and out, so we do have that. Again, trunk space, really good. Charge port door, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to lighting. We're gonna get to technology. We may have to do a separate technology video in a different video, but let's just shut this down. We'll keep Teddy Bear in there for now, and you can see he's pretty happy in there. Let's turn on the lights, let's turn on the car, and we'll do non-headlights first, and then we'll go to headlights as well. So let's just start it right up. Because it's an EV, we can do that. We'll go to the marker lights there. And I wish I could figure out some of that. I feel a little bad that I didn't show you the darker dash here because I had that figured out before we filmed, but this is the reality of live video. All right, so let's turn the signal on as well. And as we do that, left side signal only. So you can see that signal light in the mirror. Again, this is the same stuff, but it is sort of a pixelated look in there. More amber in real life than you see there. Over here, a lot of people are starting to confuse what is a headlight right now, and they're referring to these as the headlights, those squared out kind of look there. That is not the headlight. The headlight is actually inside here. So what you have now is essentially your daytime running lights, and they are kind of buried nicely in there, but they look cool. Down here, regular signal light there. So you have those headlights, which are not headlights, right? Those are just the daytime running lights. We'll turn the headlights on in a second. We'll show you the rear tail lights, and then we'll go back and turn the headlights on. And we'll talk about what I know and don't know about the headlights, and we'll talk about what I'll do to find out more that I need to know. So again, if you have just the daytime running lights on or the parking lights on or you're driving at night, that's what your people are gonna see. Your brake lights are also these signal lights. They fill out in the center. Coloring's not showing perfectly on camera, but you can see how they operate. Backup lights are down there. LED lights around the plate bracket there. So you have that nice full LED, white LED look. And so now let's turn the headlights on. We'll turn the signal off. Signal off, headlights on. And you can see, we've seen these kind of lights before. They are the MFR style LED headlights. Nice, fairly sharp cutoff, nice bright white color that looks way yellower on this wall on this camera for whatever reason. But you can see here, if we come down over here, you'll see that nice sharp cutoff that comes right there. Really bright cutoff. So I expect these headlights to be very good. Probably for most of you, they'd be the best headlights you've seen up to date. Technically, they're not the top of the line Hyundai headlights right now. The top of the line ones have just, you can sort of see here, I'll try to show you. This is about that much between full brightness to full off, whereas their top headlights kind of narrow that from about this to about this long for a little bit sharper of a cutoff, but that's really nitpicking. These are going to be very good headlights, I think. But we're going to do a drive at night like this to figure out what we've got and how they work. And we'll do this a full video at night. All right, so here's how this goes. Normally we're done by now. I think we'll skip some technology stuff in the screens. We'll hit that in another video. What I do want to do is drive over and charge it for you. We'll plug in the charger. We'll show you what that looks like. We'll talk a little bit about charging, and we'll just make sure there's not a ton of questions here. I am going to miss some questions right now, but I'll come back to them in a second. So let me just make sure there's nothing that I really should get to. And again, it's hard to see everybody's, so I'm just going to skim through, pick a couple. And can it charge other cars, or is that only the Ultimate? So charging other cars really means the vehicle to load capability. What that means is when you plug the charger in, there'll be a way to plug other things in. What my hope is to do is that I happen to have an electric barbecue. When I have a vehicle that does vehicle to load, which this one does not do to the 99th% of my knowledge, I don't think it does. It's only on the Ultimate package. But what I want to do is cook burgers for you on a live video purely from the car on my electric barbecue with the electric car, because that'll be fun. So you'll know when I'm cooking burgers on a car that that's what it has. What's the level 2 maximum charging speed? Fantastic. So I don't have the speed. I probably do have the speed in these specs. I got pages and pages of specs. I don't have everything memorized for the live video yet. But charge times on a level 2 charger, which we're going to show you in a second, 6 hours and 43 minutes to bring that 488 kilometers of range. So 6 hours and 43 minutes is a lot. I have a short range Kia Soul, which is around the same time on a level 2 charger to put 250 rated kilometers in. This is 488 on the same type of level 2 charger. So 61 minutes and 42 seconds, so 62 minutes or so, is the level 3 charger, which is going to be the fast charge. And then the 17 minutes and 16 seconds for a charge network that I was going to say doesn't exist yet, but it absolutely does. The Canadian, or in Canada, you can go across the entire country using Petrocan's network of chargers, and they're capable of charging this car in like 18 minutes from that 10% to 80%. And that charge network exists right now. So you can replace your gas car, drive across the country of Canada, and if you don't stop after 400 kilometers for 20 minutes, you are a crazy person. So, I mean, that's the food. So this is, you know, like that's a food stop, and that's a quick food stop for some of these fast charge networks. So that's a big deal that this car can charge as fast as that 18 minutes to that 10% to 80%. I will say though, most of us are going to charge these cars in our homes, in our garages, and we're going to show you how to do that right now with our level 2 charger here. So you can plug it into a regular plug in the wall like we do normally. I don't have the charge time for that. It'll take some time, but you're going to probably get a level 2 charger. You should get a level 2 charger with your car. That's what I recommend. And you can charge your car in 6 hours and 43 minutes is the level 2 charge time. So I'm going to slide my table out of the way. Sorry if this makes the quick sound, but because it's an electric car, we can keep the door shut. We can drive it in here. I think I'm a little too far away for our cord. I might not be, but I'm going to drive it around, repark it here, and we're going to show you how to charge the car. And to be fair, I have never done this before, so we're going to learn together what we're seeing because they had it charged for me last night, which I had no involvement in. So backing up here, let's just show you the backup camera while we're here. This is not the 360 camera. You do have parking beepers. So I am looking hopefully through the car, not the camera that I'm filming with. And we're going to try to get those parking sensors to go off. And there they are. We're going to make it a little bit more angry. And you can see, there we go. It goes yellow and it will go red as well. So we're going to switch that to drive. It keeps that camera up for a tiny bit. And I'm going to pull around here. And I don't really have to do this, but I'm going to do, yeah, we're going to go backwards again. Oops, I'm going switching with the wrong hand. So again, there's our backup camera here. Pulling out here. We'll go back to drive. And we're going to pull around to that charger there. Charger on this vehicle is on the passenger side and the rear. So what we're going to do is we're going to straighten the steering wheel just in case I come in here and want to look at stuff. I'm going to put it in park. We're going to turn the car off just like we would if we were parking the car at a charge station. So when you come to a public charge station, usually what you're going to do is you have to use an app sometimes, and the easiest way to do it is have an app. A lot of time you're going to use your phone's ability to just tap on the app, or you can enter a code in the app. It's very, very simple to use. Once you've done it once, you'll know how to do it. It was one of those things that really intimidated me when I bought an EV. And then what happens is you can essentially grab this. Once this is loose, you can grab it and charge it at a public charge station. It'll be sort of locked in place until you activate it. This one's got the charger on, it's not locked. So now how do I open the charge port door? Well, we showed you on the key fob earlier that you can open the key fob or the door with that piece right there. We're gonna keep that in our pocket and not use that. Somebody says it's on the wrong side. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you which side it should be on. My Kia Soul, you can see how that opened by just touching it. My Kia Soul is in the front, and I'm not sure that's the best spot. So just because the slush and the snow can get in that area a little bit more, which is less nice to touch when you come home every day, or if you don't charge every day. I got a little bit of a charge cord tangle here, so there we go. All right, so I'm gonna pull this over here, and this is how this works. You just take this, it's super simple, you plug it in, and boom, you do that at night and you're done. That's it. You're gonna wait for a second as it activates. It's gonna probably indicate that there's some, see that? It said charging started. So there is an actual voice in this car. It's set to the medium volume and it says charging started. And because this car is mostly charged, it's just charging the top quarter. So that's 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, and 4 quarters. So it's just working on the top 25%. To charge there, and it will blink until it's fully charged. I believe it will change color, but I haven't done that myself yet. And again, that voice, charging started, is confirmation. A lot of time I always tell people, sometimes what happens is when you plug in your car, maybe you forgot to turn on the charger, or maybe there's an issue with the charger, but most time maybe you forgot to turn on the charger or it's not activated at a public station. So now you'll know through a voice if you choose, you can turn that on or off or turn up or down, and you'll know through the lights that it's on. So when you plug in the car, the only thing I want you to do is plug it in, make sure you see those lights change, and then you'll know that it is charging. It's super simple to live with an EV nowadays. It's just really simple to do. And again, if you had a fast charger, let's just take a look back here again. What you're gonna do with the fast charger is there's an extra panel down here. You're gonna pull that out. It has a larger nozzle. It plugs in there. And whether it's a level 3 charger or an even faster charger, you can charge in an hour or you can charge in those 18 minutes or so by just plugging it in the exact same way. Super simple to do. The car kind of takes care of the rest for you. One thing to keep in mind, if we do in this video go back inside and you see that the charge time is taking a while, the way I like to describe it is imagine filling up a cup of milk. You can pour it super fast until you get to that top 5–10%, right? Then you got to really slow down. Charging works the same way. You can charge fast, and we always quote to that 80%. The fast charge times are always up to 80%. Why? Because you can charge fast up to 80%, and then the car will slow itself down as it reaches the top. So you may see, I don't know, I haven't even seen that, but you may see an hour of charge time for the last 5–7% of battery life that we have to put in this car. That's not going to be that full hour, but the point is, don't use that timing to calculate the rest of the charge. It will be a little slower on the top part of the charge. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna take your questions really quickly here. We're at 42 minutes in. I'm willing to stay on with you guys for a while. I usually like to keep these at 45 minutes, but we'll go on for a couple minutes here if it makes sense. But I do wanna get more videos up and other stuff. So I may skip some questions just because I didn't see them, and I may decide that we wanna keep this around 45 minutes and go from there. So look at the car for 2 seconds. There it is charging. And come back to me now. All right, is it hard on battery to use fast charger all the time? Yes. Don't use the fast charger all the time. Use the fast charger when you need it. We're gonna do another video on these cars where we talk about what's best for battery life, those kinds of things, how I do things. We already did a video on PHEV and EV charging that you can check out. But you wanna fast charge when you need to and slower charge or level 2 charge when you don't need to. And that's best for battery longevity. So to reduce the range loss that can happen, if you think about a cell phone, sometimes like 2 years in, the battery's kind of crap. That doesn't happen on EVs the same way, but you want to avoid fast charging unless you need to. It's not a problem to use it when you need to, but you want to try to not use that as your primary source of charging, and most of us are going to charge most of our time at home. Does a standard trim have Smart Park Assist? No, so that Smart Park Assist allows it to move forward and back right from the key fob. That'll be a higher trim. Pricing on top model, to be very honest, guys, I forgot the exact pricing. The problem with doing these live videos when I get these new cars is I memorize all the specs and then I forget something. I didn't check the pricing right before I came live, so I'll have to get back to you on some of that pricing exactly. Is there a level 1 charge? I believe there is in this car. I haven't seen it myself yet, but again, I've just seen this car for the first time today and got it up online as quick as I can for you guys, so we'll do that. Are all the level 2 home chargers that Kia Hyundai sell are Bosch? No. So first of all, we don't really sell them. We can recommend them. We at our dealer here happen to put a bunch of Bosch chargers in. You can use any kind of thing. So $59,999 is the top, somebody said, and that sounds about right. And they all qualify for that $5,000 government rebate. Is the long-range all-wheel drive good for federal EV rebate? Yes. Every one of these cars in Canada, every one of the EVs, every one of the Ioniq 5s do qualify for the $5,000 federal rebate, even the $59,999. So there, Jason's on for me. So Jason Parrott. Jason, while you're on, if you could just tell me the exact MSRP of the car we have in front of us. I think you said around 51 yesterday. Jason Parrott, who's on here, is our sales manager at Brantford Hyundai. Again, he told me the MSRP yesterday, but I'm as good at memorizing prices as I am at memorizing names, and he'll understand that joke. So Jason will tell us the MSRP of exactly this model, and they run up to $59,999 from $44,999, and all of them qualify for that government rebate. Okay. $51,999. So the car we're talking about today, $51,999. Again, that $5,000 government rebate. Really quickly, we checked the government rebate. They just updated a whole bunch of funds in that. So millions and millions of dollars they put into that rebate. So the rebate was set to expire or run out. They've updated that. So if you're ordering one of these cars today, because obviously not everyone's in stock, you shouldn't have any issue with waiting for that car to arrive and still being eligible for that federal rebate. So there you go. On the federal website, they only show up to the long-range all-wheel drive. I can tell you right now that Hyundai has confirmed with the government that all of them will qualify. So that's what we've been told at the dealer level. If the website is incorrect, then you can take it up with them, but we have been told they all qualify. Okay. You know what? There's a lot of questions in there. I don't think I'll get to them all. We're going to probably cap this at about 45 minutes, which is where we're at right now. So here's the thing. Brantford Hyundai, Owen Sound Hyundai. I think Owen Sound Hyundai is a day or two out from receiving theirs, but this car is in stock and you can book test drives at Brantford Hyundai and Owen Sound Hyundai. If you want to drive this car, call them. There will be a link in the description of this video. As soon as I'm done, you can reach out to me. I'll connect you up with either city. You just tell me which one's closer to you, and they will book test drives on this car. You can book it, you can order it, you can have it. You can't just take it home. This one is a dealer-only model. Like just about everything in the automotive industry right now, you're ordering the car, they will work with you. We are going to be experts on this car. If you're in Ontario and you want to buy this car, I want you to buy through our dealerships because I've been through this before. We've been down this road before. We've sold EVs and we've had other dealers sell EVs. And I'm not sure that everyone's going to learn the cars the way we are. And I promise you, I will learn everything I can about this car, and we will do our best to work with our sales team to make sure they know to make your ownership experience the absolute best it can be. So we got 138 people on right now. We got 97 people that said, you know what, this is worth a like. Do me a favor, guys. If you like that we did it on this vehicle, if you like something about the vehicle, if you like that, we're going to try to be experts. We're going to make a whole bunch more. Find some reason to like this video. I appreciate if you could do that, and that'll help us spread these videos to people like you. And like I said, the more that the people watch them, the more people view them, the more people like them, gives us more incentive to get them back. And obviously Jason's sales manager there, he knows when we see lots of likes, he's got to give me the car back, and we'll do a whole bunch more videos. So I might have one more video coming up this afternoon. I've already done a previous video. This is obviously our in-depth one. We're going to go bit by bit on shorter videos coming up. So I want to thank everyone for watching with us. It's been a long one. Lots of tech to go over. We'll have that video coming up as well soon. So thanks everybody for joining us. We will talk to you again in the next one. This has been fun. Go get this car. We'll talk to you soon.